What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris with the Hickory Algorithm coming to you with another episode for the love of the game here in Hickory. Man, I got a special guest today, man. I'm really excited about this one. We got Matt from Tommy's Car Wash, man. How you doing?
Good, Chris. How are you? Thanks
Good.
for having me.
Yeah, man, this is awesome.
This is great.
It's been a long time coming.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. It has. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited.
Well, let's just jump right into it, Matt. Man, why did you choose Hickory, North Carolina, to bring a Tommy's Express?
I mean, so Hickory reminds me of where I grew up, smaller town, personable people, real sense of community. My family and I love to come up here to hike, to fish. I live just right outside, Charlotte now. So whenever we get a chance, we come up here. We're real, outdoors folks. But outside of that, what really has impressed me with Hickory is the people. I joined the chamber last fall, and I mean, I'm blown away by the support that they give and the involvement and such. So, yeah, it's kind of an accumulation of things.
Is that where we met? Did we meet at the chamber?
Yeah.
So we met at Friday Brew, and is that how?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then you just inserted me into
into
networking.
I tend to do that.
Yeah, that was great. I love it.
Yeah, but what is it? People say for Hickory, one of the conversations is we need another Dollar Tree. We just need another car wash, and that's like a running joke. What makes Tommy's different?
That's a loaded question. What makes Tommy's different? Well, what I would start with is just our mission. We want to enrich lives, add value, and serve the community. So we really focus on that every day. Enriching lives can be from our team, creating a career for people or helping people find their right, career.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, we participate with Water Mission, which is a nonprofit engineering company out of South Carolina that provides fresh water. They have provided, since 2001, I think they've provided fresh water to over 7 million people, worldwide, including Western North Carolina this past fall. So that's part of the mission. Add value. I think the quality wash, the speed that we can do it, we're adding value to the community there. And serving the community is something that I'm really passionate about. So our grand opening is next weekend. We're going to have Viewmont Elementary, some teachers and administrators there on Saturday, the 24th, and half of the proceeds that we get at the register that day will go back to them. We're also giving back. We're going to do a raffle where we're going to raffle off a Blackstone grill and a gift card to Raising Roots.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Right.
Are you doing all that on the 22nd? Or is that for the weekend? The one you're talking about is the weekend.
The
right?
weekend, yeah. So the 22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Oh, okay.
But all the proceeds of that raffle will go to Safe Harbor.
Yeah.
Which is just a great organization helping, women and children. So, serving the community is a big thing, for me. And I mean, there's just some examples.
Yeah, I know whenever we talked about the grand, I say grand opening, but I feel like you guys had a grand opening about a month ago when you did 10 days of free washes. Is that was it 10 days?
10 days of free washes. Yeah, we washed over 9,300 cars.
Is that how many you guys washed?
Yeah. Thanks for everybody that participated in that was patient with us.
It's funny. I think it's how you met my wife. I think she was like, she came home. She goes, "Hey, I met Matt at Tommy's," and she was just coming by and getting a free wash. Yeah. Man, that's awesome, Dave.
Yeah.
So on the grand opening, the ribbon cutting.
Yes.
Right. We'll call it the ribbon cutting. So the ribbon cutting is going to be May 22nd at 11 a.m. Now you're going to have you going real big. You getting any like big names out there? Or any kind of local celebrities?
We're trying to get some mascots out. We're still working on that. Conrad. trying to get him
Yeah,
out
dude.
there.
Yeah,
the
that's what's
crawdads. Halrow is going to be out there.
Yeah.
With,
He's
with
a
us.
draw. Yeah, man.
He's a dude, man. He's
Did you go
great.
on his show?
I did.
Did
yeah.
you? What was that like,
yeah.
man?
It was great. It was he. I mean he just holds your hand through the whole thing. I mean, it was really easy. Yeah.
How many interviews do you think that dude has done lifetime, dude? It's been so many. It's not even fathomable how many he's done.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude.
50,000
Yeah,
or more,
just-
easy, right? I
right,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I know he interviews somebody like every Monday or something. But yeah, he's a big deal here in Hickory, man. So he's gonna be there on that day.
Yep,
as well?
he'll be there from 10 to 12.
Yeah. So you said you were doing a giveaway too. Is that like? I say you said, just so I understand it, $1. It's $1 like to get in, and all those proceeds go to Safe Harbor.
Yes.
And then local businesses have donated some gift cards to you. So you're just gonna raffle those off during the ribbon cutting.
So the raffle will be, the Blackstone Grill
Okay.
and Raising Roots gift card, which is valued about $500.
Wow.
So that'll be the raffle tickets, and then all those proceeds of the raffle will go to Safe Harbor.
Gotcha.
And then we're gonna have a spin the wheel where
Okay.
we've collected some goodies from other businesses,
local coffee
yeah,
shops
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
exactly.
like
So
that,
people
yeah.
can spin the wheel to win something.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
it'll be
great,
fun.
man. Tell you what, man, you really come into this community, and there's a lot of people that want to get into the Hickory market and things like that. But man, you've really hit the ground running. And I know I've said that to you a couple times, but you have, and you've
Appreciate
done
that.
everything that I ran a grocery store for 23 years. So like just talking to you sometimes about like the things you're going through for a reopening and those kind of things. I had some PTSD just thinking about it, dude, because it's jet fuel every day,
Yeah.
new problems. But yeah, man, you did great, and you came and you inserted yourself in the community. You're raising it. I mean, you're doing everything that I think that I would do, which I feel like I've done so many of those remodels and things like that. But you've done a great job coming into Hickory, man, and that goodwill, and people see that. I see that, man.
Yeah, and it's obviously not just me. I mean, I hired a great site leader, Josh, who I think we're right on the same page of how to grow a business the right way, and to serve the community. And we're heavily just trying to train our people of what we want, what our expectations are, because it is higher. I mean, we want people to come to Tommy's, and we want them to see the quality that they're getting, value that we want them to see that this is a clean car wash, clean parking lot. All those little details are really important.
How many guys you got on staff over there now, man? Because when I went and you were talking about employing people, I'm like, how many people does a car wash need? So how many do you got now?
Yeah, I think we're right around 17 or 18.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah, and it's hard because you have part-time, you have full-time, folks, and we're focused on good people, hiring right personalities.
Yeah, it's huge.
That can smile and do all those important things.
Yeah, and man, when I did hiring, I did it for 20 years, and man, I tell you what, the one thing that I came away with were like, working hard, doing all that. But if you don't have that person that cares, that person that gives a crap, right? It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter. You can tell me that I've hit all these sales numbers and I've done all this, but if they're just there and they don't really care about the vision or who they're working for, and they're just sort of there, you're never, like, that affects the whole company when you have one person that does that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about being a servant leader, I feel like hiring Josh was the absolute right choice for us, and I think he sees that too. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to get the right personalities to execute what you're trying to do. And we're trying to do things at a high level. I mean, we aren't going to always get it right, but we are going to strive every day to do it.
So is there an age for working at the car wash? I'm just talking for me having a 16-year-old.
You need a part-time job?
Right. But
Put you in the window, man.
The problem is it would consume me. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, how many did I get yesterday? How many did I get? You know what I mean? Like, it would consume me. And that's not healthy for me. But like, you're right down the street from Hickory High.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, my son goes to Hickory High, and every time my son comes home, he's like, Dad, can you get so-and-so? I'm like, dude, I don't even know who these kids are, but, you know. So is there an age limit for that? Because I think that would be like a perfect part-time job for somebody that's, if you guys hire at 16 or 17, do you guys do that?
Yeah, so we'll hire somebody at 16. I mean, the key is them getting to work. We want them to be able to do that. But yeah, I mean, some of our best team members are, our 16-year-old kids. I mean, they're doing awesome. I mean, they're great.
Yeah, you hear a lot of employers talk about finding hard help. Like, we can't find help. We can't find help. We can't find help. And it's like, I don't think they know what they're looking for, right? They want that guy that's going to be the best and do all those things. It's like, dude, you're not. But if they don't show up or they don't care, that all goes out the window, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you got to try to create a culture. Mm-hmm. And that culture will build, finding good leaders to help just support people, care. Mm-hmm. And, you're not always going to get it right. It's not going to happen, but, and it's not going to be a good fit for certain people. But I tell you, I mean, it's an active job, if you're mechanical and you like that stuff, that's kind of cool, mm-hmm. right? I mean, there's a lot of, machinery, and such, but first and foremost, what we look for is just the personality. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to look somebody in the eye and smile and talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can teach you everything you need to know, right. But you have to have that innate ability to, have a little fun and smile.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. What did you do before Tommy's? Like, do you have, like, what's the background of Matt? Like, where did you start? How did this whole thing, like, we're here sitting in Hickory, North Carolina. Yeah. So we both have a pretty lengthy backstory. But how did you end up, because this is your first Tommy's, right?
It is,
This is the first one. So how did you get from to here?
Yeah, so Tommy's is based out of Michigan, Holland, Michigan, and I grew up in a town about an hour north of there. And I've got a couple really good buddies that I grew up with, grade school on up. And one of their neighbors is a franchisee of Tommy's in the Michigan area. And the two of them approached me and said, what do you think about this? And the more I looked into it, the more I researched it, the mm-hmm. more I liked. Exciting company, Christian-based company, mm-hmm. Values. Tommy's it's a family company that has been in the car wash business for 50, 60 years. It's not some private equity firm that just wants to, drive the bottom line. They are all about quality, car washes at a great speed and, producing that. So, that was about 2.5, 3 years ago. And when we first started trying to find our first site, it all started in Hickory. I was on some app, real estate mm-hmm. app. And I found a site that it was about a couple blocks down from where we are now. And that didn't work out. And we continued to look, but I mean, it just, again, the draw, drew me back to this area. I just mm-hmm. felt like this area doesn't have anything like Tommy's. And it's a place, frankly, I like to go every day. Right. So, going to work is awesome when you like it, to come here, right? Yeah. So that's a little bit of the backstory, very high level, but that's kind of how it all, began.
Do you have a big management background? Did you ever? Because every time I talk to you, it's like I feel like I'm talking to another manager. You know what I mean? Have you ever?
No.
Really?
Kind of trial by fire.
Really?
Man. Yeah. I like to think I've worked hard in past jobs, and both my parents were teachers, so we got a job in the summertime. That was part of the expectation of what we did, and they taught me to work hard. And I think when you're at some of those jobs and you've been there before, mm-hmm. if you work hard, you're gonna grow into a higher position, right?
Right.
So, no, I just have sort of learned, I've, read a lot of books. On
We've
how
read
to-
a lot of books.
how to be a servant leader. And
Yeah.
I just feel like that is the only way to approach,
It is.
management.
Yeah.
That's it,
This is not. This is, I mean,
No.
we've all been part of something where, you've been on the other end of that bad boss, right? You know
Yeah.
what that feels like.
Yep.
You know how much that can slowly decay your day to day.
Yeah.
Because if you don't want to go to work and your boss is just on you the whole time, like
Yeah.
it's not enjoyable. Now all of a sudden, I always tell people that for a love of the game, like that's if you got a love of the game, I don't care what it is, go do that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and when you get a bad boss that's miserable, they don't want to be there. They don't want to
Yep.
do these things. They're just collecting a paycheck, and it's like, but that's not gonna grow. That place is not gonna grow.
That's right.
But yeah, so I went through Tommy's, man, and I was shocked how fast that was. Like I've watched the cars, and I seen it go through, and I was like, oh man, that's quick. So I was driving home, picked my son up from Hickory High, and I was like, hey man, we gotta go. We gotta drive through Tommy's. Like I've been giving you enough crap about it. I gotta go through it, right? And he pulls his phone out, and he starts recording it, right? And I didn't think, how long is it? Because
So
it can't be. I mean, it has to be right near a minute, dude. Like it has to be, if not under that.
yeah, I haven't recorded it as far as time wise, but if you're a member of ours, and so we have 2 lanes, right? So you have the cashier lane that's right next to the building, and then you have our app lane. So if you're a member and you hit that app gate and it recognizes your license plate, and that gate pops up, and that gate opens up, and you're through. I mean, you're through the car wash in less than 3 minutes.
See, I didn't even think of that. So
Yeah.
when they pull in and they go around, I was talking more like once you get in.
Yeah.
But you're talking about if you're a member, you have your own sort of like express lane kind
Right.
of thing, and you go through.
Right. Yeah. So, we can process easily 150 cars an hour, and that can approach 190.
Yeah, so that's
if we need to.
Yeah.
And the same. What's interesting is we've gotten that a lot. We've gotten those comments like, "There's no way you can process this fast and get the same quality."
Right.
Well, I disagree with that.
Right.
I think we can, and hopefully we are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, man, it was impressive though going through there, man, and those blowers. I just when I'm going through that and I look at like the Tommy's blowers, like they're very distinct. You've
Yeah.
never seen anything like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I've never seen them. And I'm just looking at those things. I'm like, how much research went into getting those angles right, getting the placement right, getting those, just every little detail seemed like there was a heck of a lot of thought that went into it, because you only have, how many blowers do you have?
17, I believe.
But like, I mean, I've gone through where it's just like one huge blower
Yeah.
and it doesn't do anything, right? And it's like they're just cutting corners. But man, when you go through there, and everyone loves the end of the car wash, right? Because it's like you're landing a
Yeah.
plane, right?
Yeah.
You're on the runway. But like, man, I tell you what, those blowers, I'm looking at them, it's like, there's probably, how many man hours went into getting those right? Because it is, right? Like it's an angle thing. It's this one's shooting this way, this one's shooting that way.
Exactly
And
right.
it's not like, oh, it's just blowing. Like my wife goes, Chris, it's just drying off a car. I'm like, no, I know there had to be a science behind this.
No, there absolutely is, and thank you for noticing that. Yeah, no, I mean, because there is, and that's part of what you get with Tommy's, right? I mean, like, these guys are so dialed in that the angles of the blowers and where they're at, so it's all about like a V, right? So if you think about it, the first 2 blowers pop on, they're right in the middle of your vehicle, trying to push the water, the beaded water, off the car, and then the next row of blowers do the same thing. The next row does the same thing. So the idea is hopefully you don't have to dry your car a whole lot at all. I mean, you will a little, but at all, once you leave. So it is an absolute science, and that's, something we also, we have an hourly checklist. Every hour we go through the wash, and we have, I think it's about 60 things that we look at And it's all based off of the quality of the wash. We look at the pH of the water. We look at, the equipment. Is it hitting cars, correctly? We look at the blowers.
Yeah,
Is
the
it,
cracks in
is
the
it blowing?
blowers or anything like
Yep,
that. It's
yep.
a huge deal.
Right,
dude.
right. So safety is a huge deal to us, to the team, and to guests. But also, there's a science behind it, right? Yeah.
Dude, and then it looks like when you're going to if you go to Carowinds and you're getting up to one of the roller coasters, that kid's standing there, next, but he has a whole, dude, Tommy's has that. That's like a,
Yeah.
I don't even know but that's not even in the room that you're pulling up to, right? So if you're going to Tommy's, what I'm saying is when you're going through Tommy's and you're waiting in line, that person's standing there talking to you. There's a control room there, where you mostly are. But outside of there, there's another sort of mini control room. It sort of looks almost like breakers. And is that where most of those things the shutoffs are, or do you have multiple places? Then there's a guy with an iPad. I'm blown away.
Yeah.
Because in my common mind, it's a car wash, Chris. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
once you get in and you start seeing the amount of technology, the amount of detail that goes into it, man, it's.
Yeah, so I think, again, that's, another thing that makes us a little bit different. I mean, the technology that we've incorporated into car washing, I think, is tremendous.
Yes.
And part of that is, energy conservation. We want to make sure we use the least amount of electricity that we can, water, as well. So on average, we use about 28 gallons of water per car. Other automated car washes use, on average, about 46 gallons.
28 gallons isn't that much.
It's not. I mean, it's a bathtub,
Right.
right? So, and then, driveway, like the way that my dad and I used to wash cars on Sunday, I mean, we waste a lot of water.
My dad, I wasted so much water when I would wash my car. My dad made me get a bucket. He had to manually send me to get water because, he ended up having a good time.
Sure. Yeah. So on average, a driveway washing it at home, it's over 100 gallons of water. So there is an absolute science behind trying to stay green and clean, right? Trying to make sure that these machines aren't on when they don't need to be on. And that's why when you go through the blower room, the first row blowers, goes on first, second row, then they shut off, second row goes, and so on and so forth. So, it's a huge passion of Tommy's, family in general, but also, obviously us, that's important.
Well, even you guys recycle some of the water for the undercarriage of the cars too. You showed me the tubs and the things that you do with that. Is that factor into the 28 gallons kind of thing too? So what you do? Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, you can explain it. Oh, a heck of a lot better.
Yeah. So the 28 gallons is, so we use 28 gallons of new fresh city water per car. The other water we use is reclaim, and we have a ozone and carbon filter, and to process that water through our trench out to the parking lot, where we have 3 different zones where that goes through to kind of filter it through to then produce fresh water and filtered water to hit your car, which basically hits the bottom portion of your car.
That's what I was going to say, is that the recycled water goes on the undercarriage.
It does, yep.
It's so interesting, man. When I don't know something, I just want to ask all the questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's cool.
It's
cool.
It is cool, man. So is there how many different kinds of tiers? Because when you said it's monthly, right?
Yes.
It gets monthly, so you can have, and it recognizes your license plate, right?
It does.
So is it just an app on your phone, or is it sort of like an Easy Pass kind of thing, like when you travel and you put it up, or how does that?
Yeah,
How does that
so
work?
it is an app on your phone,
Okay.
very easy to use. So that's the way you would register your car. When you come through the wash, if you want to become a member, there's actually 2 ways to get in that membership app lane. So the traditional way that we have is you joining, and then you can wash your car unlimited. You can wash your car every day if you wanted to.
Right.
The other is pay per wash. So you can sign up on the app, you know, have your credit card information.
And just when you're ready
and then go through the membership lane, but just pay per wash, as well. If you wash your car 2 times a month, it's worth getting a membership, just cost-wise. And we recommend you do it once a week, just to maintenance of it. And, the idea is the way we process cars, the speed that we do it, you can pop in at your lunchtime.
Right.
You're in and out in certainly less than 5 minutes. So, yeah.
I know a lot of people around here that I live in Viewmont, right where it is, right down there on 127. And a lot of people go out for lunch and, swing by Wendy's or they'll swing by someplace, right? And that's when we say it's fast, like especially if you have that app, 3 minutes, dude, that's nothing. Like you could literally sit in your car and eat some fries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like,
listen to a podcast.
yeah, I know a good one if anyone's really looking for something new or something that want to know a little more about the Hickory market. Well, Matt, dude, thank you for coming. This has been a long time coming, and man, I'm really excited. Any more Tommies on the horizon, you think, dude?
Oh man, I
love that. That's a loaded question. You just got, dude. Can I just breathe for a second? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would love to open more Tommies, but obviously I'm focused on this one. Let's really dial this thing in and make sure the experience that you all are getting and guests are getting is top notch, and then when that comes, it comes. But yeah.
Oh man, thanks for coming, Matt.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome, man. Dude. Thank you so much.
Well, this is Chris, your boy at the Hickory Algorithm, and man, guys, do something for the love of the game, something that makes you happy. Get out there and do it, and we'll see you next time.